You can literally see this. Okay, this is about to fall. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Oh my god, it's been so long since I've sat down to film. It's like so weird right now. I'm like, what do I say? I forgot how to speak. I just got my nails done like 2 weeks ago and they're cherries. That's all my news updates for me. Happy Latinx Heritage Month. I hope you guys are reading Latinx books, going to support small businesses, all of that good stuff. Okay. Oh my god, I really don't know what to say. Okay, what are we doing today? So I have something I think very exciting. So I'm currently filming 2 other videos. I know, crazy. Yeah. I contemplated either doing this video or another one, but I think I'm going towards this just because I really do want to read these books. And I might do like some, here I go again, rambling. Okay, I recently, like last 2 weeks ago, I read The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang. I DNF'd The Kiss Quotient. I softly DNF'd it like last month, I want to say, just because I felt that I wasn't in the mood to read it. I just wasn't connecting with anything in it, and I felt that I knew it was going to be a 5-star read. Like I knew it was going to be a 4 or 5-star read, and I wanted to give it a fair shot. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna softly DNF it now, and then I'll come back to it when I'm in the mood to read a romance or this particular book. And then I did, and surprise, I loved it. 5 stars, amazing. So I realized that I have a lot of second books in like a series, or the like a recent like debut author, like their second book came out. So I was like, let me just read like the second books in a series, or the second like novel of a debut author, like romance, right? Does that make sense? That does not make sense at all. I have no idea what I'm gonna title this. What am I gonna title? I don't know. Okay, so let's start with The Kiss Quotient. So I read The Kiss Quotient. As you can tell, I loved it. I tabbed the hell out of it. The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang. So this is a trilogy. I think all of them surround fake dating, some kind of fake dating. I spoke about this in one of my past videos. Essentially what this is it's a romance, and we have our main character Stella. She's autistic, and she realizes that she's bad at relationships, right? And her parents really want her to not even just get married and have kids, just have a relationship, right? Like they understand that, you know, it's difficult for her to find someone who, you know, meets up to her standards, but they want that for that, you know, this is her daughter. And so she realizes that she is just bad at dating because she doesn't have any really notion or anything. She's never had a boyfriend before, right? So she's just like, I don't, every time I've had any sexual encounters, it's always been awkward, it's been bad for me, I don't know what to do. So she was like, why don't I just hire an escort? So enter Michael. And Michael is an escort, and basically they first come to this agreement that Michael's going to train her basically how to be good in bed, right? And then afterwards Stella realizes that the only reason why she was bad in bed was because she never had any connections with the guys that she was sleeping with. Like, that's just her personal. She's not saying like, oh, you have to have connections, but like, she's like, personally, this is my fault. Like, this is what's happening with me right now. So she tells Michael if they can pretty much cut out the sex stuff, and if they can form a new little like contract for him to be her fake boyfriend. So when I mentioned this, I was saying how much I love like the escort trope, just because there is so much miscommunication that happens in here, like just in general, because you're just like, do like the main character's like, does my love interest like me, or is it just because I'm paying them? Or like, they're so nice and they're so sweet and they're so patient with me, but is it because that's how they're supposed to be? Like, is it because they're like forced to be like this? So good. And one of the staples of fake dating and like escort, not really escort, but just fake dating, is like when one person says like, oh yeah, like I'll agree to be like your fake boyfriend, I'll agree to be your fake girlfriend, but don't catch feelings for me, because the person that like I've been in this kind of situation before and the person caught feelings for me and I don't like that. And then lo and behold, the main character, or like the main character catches feelings, and then it's so good. So this was good. This was 5 stars. I almost give it 4 stars just because I didn't really like how Stella was so dependent on Michael. I was like, oh my god, you're like I get it, you're obsessed. Like, yeah, he's cute. Like, you know, like there's a reason why he's like literally booktube, book communities, like beloved. Like everybody loves Michael. It's like, I understand that. I get that. But at the same time, girl, Miss Stella. And then at the very end, she gave that to me. She was like, I love myself. I am a queen. I am a boss. I don't need you. Okay, like if you want me, you have to come and get me. And I was like, exactly. There you go. 5 stars. That's all I needed, Stella. She stood up for herself and I was like, there you go, Stella. This was really, really good. This was so, so, so good. The smut scenes were amazing. It was like a perfect balance of like really good smut and really, really good relationship stuff. It was really cute. So it's a trilogy, right? And the 3rd book, The Heart Principle, just came out. I'm gonna talk about that because that in itself is like took the community by a blaze, good and bad. And then, so the 2nd book for that one is The Bride's Test. I haven't started it yet. So this one, theater has like my stuff ready. Like I have my bookmark and I have my little tabs, like it's next. So this one we have, so the 3 boys in the trilogy, they're all connected, right? So this is Michael. This one follows Kai, which is Michael's cousin, right? But like his brother is Michael's best friend cousin. This is Quan is the 3rd book, his little brother. Yes. And so I think Kai's also autistic, I want to say, but this one we just have our main character, and I think it's kind of like a mail order bride situation, and then again like fake dating, miscommunication, the feels. I'm so excited to read this. I'm so excited to read this. Okay, so that's next. And then after that, I also mentioned this in my mid-year freakout, Fixer Up, right? So I read this, I loved it. We have our main character, Georgie. She has always been in love with her brother's best friend since she was like 12, 13. Bad stuff happens to him where like his career kind of ends. He's had like a bad reputation. And Georgie's like, I like you so much. I don't really know if you're ever going to see me like that, but I like you a lot. So I'm going to help you get your life back together. And then in turn, what's his name? I know I'm not going to check. What's his name? I checked. Travis. And in turn, Travis like now sees her as like an adult. He's like, oh, my brother, like my best friend's little sister, like grew up. And then fun, smutty times happens. This one was really good. I gave it 4 stars, I want to say. I loved their banter. I loved kind of the buildup of it. I thought it was really good. I loved seeing Travis basically like fall for her and realize like, oh yeah, like I want her. The smut scenes, again, excellent. Tessa Bailey can write smut. I didn't really like the third act breakup scene. I love that it happened. I love that there was miscommunication about it, but it was just so kind of like out of the blue, and it was resolved very quickly, and I feel like it had potential to be a really good third act breakup scene with the miscommunication. It would have been so good. Like I saw it and I was like, oh my god, here we go. And then I was like, wait, this is happening right now? But then I was like, hey, whatever, let's go. And then it happened, and then I was like, hey, cool. But then I was like, wait, but there's like 10 pages left. I was like, hold on. And then they resolved it like so quickly. And I honestly didn't really make sense how they resolved it. She pretty much was just like, whatever. Like she pretty much just like forgot about it. She was like, hey, whatever. And then she just moved on, and they were like, okay, fine, whatever. This was really good. Oh yeah, so this one has fake dating. So basically, I don't know what she got out of the bargain. I think, oh, yes. So basically she's a baby, right? Like she's a baby. Her family doesn't really take her seriously. So they kind of come together to like mutual benefit. She, by dating Travis, is going to look more like an adult in front of her family. And Travis, by dating Georgie, is going to help him basically fix his reputation and have more career opportunities. Yeah. So the second, that one's also like, I think, a trilogy. And that one follows the girls. The girls are like a group of girls, or like gals, or like best friends. But the third one, I think, is her sister. This one is her friend, and we have Rosie and Dominic. this one follows, they've been married, they're high school sweethearts, they're married, but they pretty much, I don't want to say they fall out of love, but they're like not in a good situation because they don't really talk anymore. They have problems, like not with each other, but they just have like their own internal problems that are making them unhappy. And in turn, that's putting a strain on their marriage, that's putting a strain on themselves, like they don't know how to fix it. So it's basically just them like coming back together and being like, hey, like you're my high school sweetheart. Like I've loved you. Like I've literally been head over heels in love with you for like 10 years. Like for years and years and years. Like we need to fix this because I want to be married to you still. Like I'm still in love with you, but we just need to fix this. We need to speak, we need to communicate. So I'm really excited to read this. I'm a little bit hesitant just because I like married couples. Like I have no qualms about reading about married couples, but we'll see. We'll see, because it says a Bailey. It says a Bailey. So that's that. And then lastly, I read by Sarah Hogle. So this one isn't, like these two books aren't connected. They're just by the same author. So we have You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogle. This one I loved. This one was, we have our main characters, Nick and Naomi, the Roses. We have, so basically they fall in love, they get engaged, and then like halfway through their engagement, before they get married, they're like, oh my God, I hate this person. They're like, I despise this person. How did I ever agree to marry them? And then pretty much they both realize that whoever breaks off the engagement is going to be labeled the bad person. And the other person obviously going to have the pity, going to be able to like get everything. Like it's, you know, so then, you know, each of them are like, what the hell? No, like I'm going to make you break up with me. So I don't look like the bad person here. And so they basically start like a prank war. Like they pretty much do everything that the other person hates. And they start like acting and changing themselves to like turn the other person off. It was really good. Banter and the miscommunication, fireworks, stars, loved it. And then this one we have her second book, Twice Shy. I think it's her second book. This one I don't really know what it is. Oh yeah, we have Mabel, who is a hopeless romantic. She gets a chance to have a fresh start by when she inherits her great aunt Violet's house. However, the groundskeeper is grouchy, but he's gorgeous, and he has a different vision than her on how to fix up the, like, what should happen with the property, right? Like she wants to fix it up. It's her. She's a hopeless romantic. He's like a grouch. No, something else has happened with this property, and I think it's basically just them falling in love. So we have, I'm pretty sure, I guess, Grumpy Sunshine. I like Grumpy Sunshine if it's done correctly. Because if it's not done correctly, then I don't like it. You're basically either making like the grumpy guy like not like, you're like, why would anyone want to be with you? Or they make the Sunshine one look like stupid. Like I hate that. Like if it's done correctly though, it's amazing. Show stopping. Love that. So yeah, so those are the books I'm going to be reading. I don't think this is going to be a reading vlog, but who knows? Honestly, who the hell knows right now? I don't even, the fact that I turned this on, wow, look at me go. So yeah, so I'm excited to read them. Oh yeah, also I gave You Deserve Each Other 5 stars. So we're gonna see what happens. Okay, I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Okay, hello friends. I know I said I wasn't probably gonna do a reading vlog, but I have some thoughts. So I'm currently like halfway through the bride test, and okay, the first like 100 pages, like the first like couple of chapters, I was hooked. I was in it. I was like, oh my God, I love romances. Like obviously I still stand by that statement, but I was like, I just love romances. I was like, wow, top tier genre, obsessed, love it, right? So yeah, so we have our main character Kai, and I kind of gave the background of how he's connected to Michael from the first book in the previous clip. And basically, same thing, like his mom just really wants him to get married, kind of like how Stella's parents are in the Kiss Quotient. And she goes to Vietnam to find someone to marry him. And she finds Mai, I think that's how you pronounce it, May. And her new American name that she brought over when she came was Esme, so I'm gonna call her Esme. Esme is a maid working in Vietnam, and she kind of meets Kai's mom by accident, by chance, and Kai's mom, you know, like falls in love with her, sees that she's a good person, she's really pretty, and so she basically tells her like, hey, come to the States and try to seduce my son. And at first, Esme's kind of like, oh, but then because she has a daughter, she's like, okay, I have to try for her, right? Like, even if I don't fall in love and I don't marry him, maybe I can come to America and provide a better life for my daughter. And so then we have Kai, and they are very much like hate to love. I'm pretty sure that's where it's gonna go, because Esme just wants to be like the perfect wife for Kai, but Kai obviously has his own needs. He likes things a certain way. But at the same time, Kai obviously is attracted to Esme and knows that she's a good person. So it stems to slowly, it's kind of like a slow mutual pine, slow burn thing. My little qualms about it is, one, the daughter. I have mixed feelings about kids in romances, right? I hate, absolutely despise one of my worst tropes, surprise pregnancies. I hate that. I hate surprise pregnancies so much in my romances. I can't read it. Automatic like 2-star if you have that in your romances. For me, for kids, like already having just kids, I think that it needs to be done in a certain way. And I need to care about the kid. So like in this one, like we already have like Esme saying like, oh my God, like, yeah, no, I need to go. Like, sometimes not mean, but like, if we have this one, we're like, oh my God, no, Esme's like, no, I need to take this opportunity because I need to do it for my daughter. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, sure. Like for sure, you know, like obviously, yes, like I've had multiple, like my parents did that. Like they came to America, like, yes, like multiple, like I know that, like I have stories in my family, my own personal family, my extended family, my friends' families. Yes, parents come to America to provide a better life. Yes, of course. But in this instance, I'm like, yeah, but I don't really care. So it's like, that's like one of the things that keeps on fueling Esme and like trying with Kai and trying to like really situate herself in America is, I need to be good. I need to like make this work for my daughter. And I'm like, okay, that clearly is a huge motivation in your story, but I don't care. Same with her trying to find her father, because she has an American father that basically abandoned her and her mom. And she's trying to find him, and I'm just like, yeah, but I don't care. So I don't like that. I don't like the fact that we have Esme's like motivations on why she's really trying to make all these things work, because I don't really care about that. But I care about her. Like I like her and I like Kai and I really want them together. But like I don't really like right? And then there are moments where like Kai is, I don't want to say like super mean to her, but it's kind of like if it's done differently and he's mean, like, you know, I don't, how can I articulate this? Like, there are moments where he's mean, right? And an ideal romance for me is like, it would lead to like miscommunication, like, oh my God, he hates me. Maybe I should become like, I shouldn't be this anymore. But they're kind of like making it out to like Esme to be like, she's just like taking all of it. Like every time like Kai's rude to her, like it hurts her, but she's like, okay, whatever, like, it's fine. I have to do this for my daughter. I have to do this for my dad. And I'm like, okay, exactly. This is motivating you clearly. Like, it's such a big part of you, but I don't care. So that's what I'm saying. It's very weird right now. And I don't know, like, I'm kind of like halfway in. So I don't know if it's going to get better or not. But so far, I'm like, it's a 4-star read for sure. Just because it is good. Like I said, I really want the main characters together. The smut, like you could see the sexual tension is rising. The writing is good, clearly, like it's good. It's just those little things that's stopping it from being 5 stars. So I'm really hoping it either all ties together, or maybe I do start learning to care about the little side characters and the side plot points and everything. But yeah, so that's my little, I don't even know if I articulated that correctly. Maybe that made me sound really mean. I don't know. I'm just trying to like, I don't know. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now with the bride test. There was a Michael and Stella mention that did make me really happy. But yeah, so after the bride test, which I think I'm gonna finish today or for sure tomorrow, I'm gonna read Tessa Bailey's. They're on my photo, so I'm looking down. I'm gonna read Tessa Bailey's. I don't know what they're called. Lose Her or Love Her? Love Her, Lose Her? No, Lose Her, Love Her, Lose Her? Lose her or Love Her? Love Her or Lose Her? Whatever the hell that book is, I'm gonna read that next. And then lastly, I'll end it with Sarah Hochul. But yeah, so like I said, I don't know if this is gonna be a reading vlog. I really wasn't planning on coming on here to film. You can tell like it's not even like with my lights or anything, but I just really needed to talk about this because I'm like, I don't know what I'm feeling right now. I don't know what I'm feeling, you know? It's like, what am I feeling? I'm trying to articulate that. I don't know if I did it correctly, but that's where I'm at right now with the Bright test. So hopefully it gets better, because I really want it to be a 5-star read, but we'll see. Okay, everybody, I'm back, and gather around because I have thoughts. Okay, so I finished reading them. Yes, I tabbed them. We have a clear winner, we have a winner, and we have a disappointment. So yes, I finished reading these, and I have a clear winner, I have a winner, and I have a disappointment. So the last time that I spoke to you guys, I was kind of ranting about the Bright test, and to be fair, I do think that I said that way too soon. I feel like I should have given it more of a chance, because it does get better. So should I start with the disappointment or the clear winner? Let's start off with the disappointment. Let's get that out of the way so we can end this video with, like, on a good note, on a good high. So the disappointment was Twice Shy by Sarah Hogle. I gave this one 2 stars. What can I say about this book? Look at how little tabs, first of all. And the first actual, like, romance tab. Do you guys want to see a video about how I tab? I tab a lot. The first romance tab that I put was on page 118. Like, basically halfway through. Like, that should not happen. Like, these two, I put, like, the first romance tab within, like, the first 10 pages. Maybe even 5 pages. Like, that should not happen. So, okay, so essentially what I said in the beginning is correct. We have our main character, Mabel. She's very much of a pushover. She's, like, pretty much, like, a sweetheart, but, like, doesn't stand up for herself at all. She's been played pranks by her best friend. Nobody in her work really respects her. And then one day, her great aunt Violet's nurse comes and tells her, your great aunt died and she left you the house. Can you come and inherit it? And she's like, okay, this is perfect. I can go and live my new life. And I always loved this house, right? Because she's had a rough upbringing. Her mom hasn't really been the best mom of the year. And she's like, I've always loved this house. Like, this house I've always had good memories about. I loved my great aunt. You know, like, I'm so sad she died. Let's do it. So she gets there and she meets Wesley, who is the groundskeeper. I feel like I'm too close to you guys. You guys are like, hold on, back up. She meets Wesley, the groundskeeper, and basically what happens is Violet kind of deceives them and is like, no, both of you guys are inheriting the house, because Wesley is, like, basically Wesley and the nurse were the last ones to really take care of Violet, the aunt. So she does leave him something after the house. And so they start fighting because she wants to turn it eventually into a hotel, and he wants to turn it into, like, an animal sanctuary, basically, like, where old animals, like old farm animals who usually die, like, they get killed because, you know, they can't produce milk anymore, they can't produce eggs, they can't, you know, they're just not good anymore. For that purpose, he's a vegetarian. He wants, I don't say that's bad, I'm saying he's a vegetarian. He wants to basically have, like, a little sanctuary where farmers can send their old or older animals to him instead of just killing them off. And she wants a hotel again, like, but so that's the premise. And right away you can kind of tell Sarah Hogle's trying to do kind of a opposite track. Can I not speak today? You can tell right away Sarah Hogle wants to do an opposites attract kind of thing. They pretty much are fighting a lot, they bicker a lot, like, their banter, they disagree on, like, everything, and she kind of tried too hard, because really, like, everything that he doesn't like, she does. I don't like it when it's that obvious. And there are moments where, like, he says, like, oh, I'm only this open and I'm only this, like, emotional towards you, like, not anybody else. And it's like, okay, I don't like being told that. Like, that's fine if the main love interest is like that, but I don't like being told that. Show me that. And she was, but then she put that in, and I was like, I didn't need this, because now I'm kind of like, Okay, so yeah, so the romance really doesn't happen until, like, 60% of the way in, and I was so bored. I was so bored. I was literally just reading to get through it. The only reason why I didn't give it 1 star was because there was green and romance tabs. There was green and pink tabs, right? So the green ones are like my favorite tropes, and the green and the pink ones, can I not speak? And the pink ones represent romance moments, like basically moments that made me aw, moments I thought was really cute, I took to my heart. It was it was honestly, there was moments where I was kind of like, this is more YA, and not to be offensive to YA, because like there were moments where I was like, this is like not, this is like juvenile. And the biggest point that I didn't like was that there was absolutely no angst, because about halfway through, right? So there's like okay, so essentially, you know this like in the first couple of chapters, right? She got catfished by her best friend. Well, not really her best friend, but the girl who thinks she's her best friend catfished her. Like she's a mean. She's not good. And used his picture, right? And so when they meet, she's like, "Oh my god, like you're the guy that she used." Her and Gemma, that's the other girl, they don't like each other. Like they're not friends. But she just saw him one day, was like, "You're cute," and then afterwards she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna use you to catfish her, but you're not gonna know, and she's not gonna know." And so I'm like, okay, like halfway through, I'm like, okay, this might be a 3-star above, all depending on how they handle that situation, because that can be a miscommunication. Wes can be like, oh my god, like, so that means you only like me because you thought I was like Jack. There you go. Look at that plot line. Look at that plot line. Or you can be like miscommunication, like, you know, like she's just like so weirded out because she's like, oh my god, like, do I like him? Do I like Jack? Because it's not fair to him, like, that I'm basically like still like thinking about Jack. Another one, right? I was like, you know what? I was like, anything can like, I was like, anything can go now. As long as the miscommunication or the third act breakup scene, whatever, is good, anything can go. There is nothing. There is not one single drama in this goddamn book. That's me. I'm sorry. But there was no drama in this book. There was nothing. There was nothing. There was nothing. That's why I was bored. I'm like, I get it. Like, you know what? Like, I understand you want to happily ever after. Like, I don't care. But give me something. Give me some kind of angst. The freaking, like, Tinder catfish thing was over in, like, 2 pages. I was like, this is not what I stand up for. I don't want this. I don't like it. You know, like, for you deserve each other. Like, that one had a third breakup scene, some miscommunication. I was like, there you go. This one, a disappointment, an utter disappointment. And Sarah Hogle, you were going to be one of my favorite romance authors, but now I don't know. I have to wait for her next book and see if hopefully maybe this was like a one-off. Maybe she's gonna go back to her You Deserve Each Other ways. I don't know. I'm so sad. And my friends on Goodreads, for the most part, all agreed with me. It wasn't a good book. It wasn't a good book, and I'm sad. But yeah, so it was just like, honestly, if you just want a good old-fashioned romance, just like no angst, just beginning to end, just, you know, slow burn. And because like the romance doesn't start like halfway, like literally slow burn, no angst, no miscommunication, no third act breakup scene, just straight up romance, like a Hallmark movie. This is a Hallmark movie. This is a freaking Hallmark movie. That's what it is. This is a freaking Hallmark movie, because, and not even because Hallmark sometimes have like freaking car accidents and amnesia and all that at the end, but nope, this is a G-rated Hallmark movie. So did I want them together? I mean, yeah. Did I care if they didn't get together? Yeah, like I was like, okay, cool. Like, and there was this moment at the end where like, there was just a lot of moments where I was like, girl, I could tell. I don't know if maybe Sarah Hogle was like, I don't want to be mean, but I don't know if she was like maybe like tired of writing or something, because there were moments where I was like, oh, this could be a good fight, but she just like brushed over it. She was like, oh yeah, no, that's just Wesley. Oh yeah, no, it's fine. I understand. I'm like, it doesn't add up. It's not clicking. It's not clicking. So I didn't like it, and I'm sad now because Sarah Hogle had I have such a delayed reaction. Sarah Hogle had such a good like debut. I think that's her debut, and I'm sad, and I'm really sad. Okay, so there's a winner and there's a clear winner. I can't. I was gonna switch it up right now, but I can't. That has to be my clear winner. So my winner is The Bride Test. Oh my god, The Bride Test was so good. I tabbed the hell out of this book, bro. You can see how many greens there are. I loved this book so much. So okay, so yeah, so what I said was true, right? So we have Esme, who is brought over by Kai's mom to marry Kai, right? And at first she's like, no way. But then afterwards, she's like, okay, well, Kai's not that bad looking. And I'm going to do this for my daughter and to find my father, right? And like I said, I everything I said is still true. Like, I didn't really like that those were her motivations, and we didn't really see it, because at the end of the day, like, when she was starting to like pull away from Kai and she's like, oh my god, why am I doing this again, she remembers like, oh yeah, it's because my mom, oh yeah, it's because my dad. But I'm like, yeah, but I don't care about that, so why are you doing it, right? That's why I was kind of like, oh. But where it started turning was when she would say, why am I doing this again? And she's like, oh my god, it's because I like Kai. I was like, there you go, that's what it is. Like, that's what I'm saying. As a reader, you know, like as a real person, I'd be like, ma'am, you stayed there for your daughter and your father. But as a reader, as a romance reader, I was like, it's for Kai. I loved this book so much. So there, okay, so basically what had happened was, that's how I start all the cheese with my friends. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm like, listen, besties, what had happened was, okay, so what happened was, okay, so yeah, so we have Esme, and she is trying to get with Kai, right? And slowly but surely, Kai brings her in, right? And along the way, they both fall in love, right? But Kai is still reeling from the death of his best friend. And so he genuinely believes that, oh my god, it's Jimin's birthday. So I think Hobie just tweeted. Sorry. Side note, when I'm oh my god, when I'm filming this, it's Jimin's birthday in Korea already, because you know Korea's in 16 hours ahead. Super side note. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Anyway, sorry. So Kai is still reeling from his best friend's death, right? And when he died, his best friend, he didn't cry, right? He just didn't cry. Like, and at that point, that's like in our prologue. Oh my god. It was in our prologue where Kai didn't cry, and basically he was like, okay, if I can't grieve, that means that I can't love, right? It broke my heart. I was like, wow, Kai, wow. And so ever since then, he's like, I don't want to date. I don't want to fall in love, because I'm just going to break the other person's heart, because I can't reciprocate the love that I have, the love that she has for me. So we have, I need coffee. Remember, Natalie, side note, never ever film again without coffee. Okay, so we have them falling in love, right? And Kai is not really telling us that he's falling in love. Like, it's more so like he's starting to like fixate on her. His mom and his brother's like, dude, you like her, like she's become your entire world, like you care for her, you laugh with her, you look out for her, like you let her in, you know, like you even if you maybe are not like heads over heels in love with her, like you have feelings for her. And Kai's like, no. And so there's so many miscommunications galore. There were so many miscommunications, and I was in miscommunication paradise. Like, I was in heaven, everybody. This was everything, because we do have Esme, who is from Vietnam, and when Kai first explained to her about his autism, she understood some of it, but not fully, right? Not until Kwan, Kai's brother, fully explained it to her and found out and was like, this is what it means that he's autistic. And so there are times before that where Kai would act a certain way, and Esme was just like, what the hell? Like, you don't like me? Like, what? Like, I don't understand, because you can be so like loving towards me, and then now you're doing like a 180, right? So there's miscommunications galore. And then there are moments where like Esme just wanted like traditional couple stuff, like cuddling, touching, and all that, and Kai kind of didn't give it to her. And so when Esme was like, what the hell, Kai was like, okay, well, like if you're mad at me, just tell me, right? Because Kai's very like blunt, like if you're mad at me, tell me. So she didn't tell me, so she's not mad at me. Miscommunications galore. But other than that, like the freaking romance scenes were so good, so freaking good. The way that Kai was just like in love with her. There were so many scenes that made me happy, like between Kwan and Kai and Esme. I thought they were so good. They were so good. Kai's book, I'm ready to read it. And I've heard some mixed reviews, but I'm ready to read it. There were so many, there's a lot of like moments where I was like, oh my god, that's so sad. Like there was this one moment where Kai breaks her heart. Like truly where Kai breaks her heart. And I almost started crying. I was like, oh my god. I was like, you, like I could start crying right now. Like I was like, you broke her heart. Like obviously this is happy ever after, but like in that moment, in that scene, if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about, the beach scene. I'm like, you just broke her heart. I was like, I feel so bad. And the miscommunication that's right after that scene. Oh my god. Like romance is just so good. Like when it is done correctly, romance, like that miscommunication after, where like Kai is like, oh my god, the miscommunication afterwards, after that beach scene, where like Esme's like, enough is enough, and Kai's like, hold on, what do you mean enough is enough? Like that part, the miscommunication, so freaking good. The third act breakup scene, like you don't get this anywhere else. It was so good. It was so good. Yeah, there was that part, but then like the smut scenes, I was like, let's get it. And then at the end, obviously, we do have like more stuff about the father and the kid. And now that Kai and Esme were like, I was like, okay, now I care. Now I care because now I fully love Kai and Esme. So everything that happens for them, I care about. You see how that happens? You see how that happens? So yeah, so 5 stars, obviously. Loved this, loved this, loved this. It was so, 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 so good. I highly recommend it. You don't have to read it as part of the series, but I would recommend reading the first series because you have a little bit of a Michael and Stella tidbits here and there that were so cute to watch. Like those were some of my yellow highlights, my happy highlights. So freaking good. Like so, so, so good. So good. So good. It's so crazy. Crazy how can the opposites like, and so of course that leaves the clear winner, one of the best books I've read of 2021. Tessa Bailey is now an instant buy, holy grail romance author. I tabbed the hell out of this book. Look at that. I used up like 1.5 entire little tab packets of this. I literally would I tabbed like I think once like 3 in one like section. Like this has 2. This was Rosie. I am sorry to you, girl, but I'm stealing Dominic. Dominic is not mine. I'm stealing him. This was so good. This was so freaking good. Okay, so this is book 2 of the Knocked Up. What, I don't even know what it's called. Knocked and Hammered. What is this? What is this series called? I don't know what this series is called. But we have, this is book 2. This is the following book after Fix Her Up, right? Fix Her Up. I love that book. So we have our 2 main characters in this book, Rosie and Dominic, and they've been like literally like I think middle school sweethearts. Like they've been together for decades, and Dominic is pretty much has a lot of the stuff that happens in here I can see from like traditional like Latino husband boyfriend stereotypes. So Dominic has always felt like he needed to be like his father. Doesn't really have to show his emotions towards his loved ones, but he can show it in like ways, right? So he won't tell you he loves you, but he'll literally like warm up your car at like 5 in the morning, so when you get up at 6 it's like toasty, right? And then he'll also fill up the gas tank in your car, and he'll, when he stops by like the market or something, like he'll always make sure he gets your favorite snacks, right? Or like he'll always ask you like, do you want something? Like I'm making a run, like what do you need, right? He does it in showing, not really telling, right? But Rosie's the opposite. Rosie is pretty much, she needs to be told, and she tells, right? So she tells people when she loves them. She tells people when she's like, you're amazing, you're adorable, like I love you. But she also needs people to tell her that, right? And so in the beginning, before he gets shipped off, because you think he's in the Navy, in the Marines, it's fine, right? Because they're still like in their honeymoon phase, like they're super still in love, like they work it out, like it's fine. And then he comes back from the Marines and he pretty much shuts himself off because he realizes that there was a lot of people in the Marines who died, and he felt that not really that he didn't deserve to live, but that because he lives, like he needs to like be the best person he can be, and that includes being the best husband. And so he pretty much throws himself into like being the best like in bed, and also being like the best like provider, right? But Rosie's like, no, like I don't want you to just provide, like I want you to tell me that you love me. And so basically for years they've been stuck in this kind of like, they're like orbiting each other, but they're not really like talking to each other in the house. And the sex scenes, I thought some of these tropes only lived in AO3. Miss Tessa Bailey brought them to traditional published books. Like, not as crazy, but there was moments where I was like, oh, these two, they're crazy. I was like, Dominic, the way he talks in those scenes, the way he acts in those scenes, I was like, Dominic, come hither. I was like, the way outside of the scenes of how he talks, like some people are like, I saw in some of those reviews that they were saying like, oh, he's very possessive, and I'm like, yeah, but like that's hot. Like not super like alpha like possessive, like where are you going? You have to ask me for permission. But it's kind of like when he would like say like, yeah, you're my wife, come home. I was like, I mean, like I'm blushing. I was like, I mean, so yeah, so okay, so oh yeah, wait, hold on, that was a little bit of spoiler. Okay, so yeah, so finally enough is enough, and Rosie leaves him. Rosie's like, I can't do this anymore, and I shouldn't do this anymore. Like I'm leaving you. And Dominic's like, what the hell, right? Because they're head over heels in love with each other. But she's like, I can't live my life like this. Like I'll move on. Like if you really want to live our lives like this, like I'll just move on. Like I don't need you like that. Like I know my worth and I deserve better. And Dominic's like, hold on. So yeah, so they move on, and then basically they have to go through couples therapy. Like couples therapy is so funny. And then they have to fall back in love, and it's really good because you have a lot of the characters from like this universe, and I love that they were just like perfect little like sprinkles. You can tell how much they love each other, and there were just moments where like it was just perfection, because I was like, wow, like they love each other. I was like, this is how you do second chance romance, where like, yeah, people might fall out of love, or people might be like so mad at each other and like hurt, and like that's it, like we're done. But at the end of the day, like if you love someone, like not to get tired, but like if you love someone, like you can fight for it, like you can make it work, you know? So that's what they did, and it was just so good because we have like, when they start going to couples therapy, the therapist is like, you guys can't have sex, and they're like, so we have like obviously like that tension rising for like the final like moment where it's like, ooh, hell breaks loose. And then we also have it like where they're like, okay, let's do everything but sex. So we also have them like talking it out, you know, them realizing like truly like what their like love language is, and kind of adapting to that and showing it to the other person. It was just really good. It was just freaking really good. And Tessa Bailey, like, you can write romance. And there was a third act breakup scene, the miscommunication, which I loved. But the only thing that stops me from being like, that's it, like nobody, the only thing that stops me from being like, okay, nobody else can ever write romance, because Tessa Bailey is it for me. Like she lives in my heart forever. She does her third act breakup scene here on page 314. I tabbed it. She does it at 314, and the total amount of pages there are 335. You're telling me this is the third act breakup scene? That's not the third act breakup scene. That's like a freaking like, what is it? The penultimate breakup scene, like right before the end. Like no, the third act breakup scene is like here. So you have all of this to like, you know, like you have like all of this to like fall back in love, and not fall back in love, but like talk things through and everything. Like no, Miss Tessa Bailey, that's not a third act breakup scene. And I hate that she does that, because it's so rushed. Like when they come back together, like they're back together within like 4 pages, and I'm like, huh, no, I want to see the girl or the boy like crawling back on their knees and being like, forgive me, please, you know, like stuff like that. So that's the only thing. And she has it in her. Tessa Bailey has it in her because she does so many good like tropes. Like she has it in her to write a good third act breakup scene. So I know she can do it, but she doesn't do it. So yeah. So those are my thoughts. I hope I hit everything. I don't even know if I hit everything, but we'll see. Future Natalie's probably like, you forgot something, and she's gonna hate me because I hate it when that happens. But I think that after this, or a follow-up to this video, I don't know when it's gonna be, but a follow-up to this video is gonna be me reading the third book of this one, which is Bethany's and Wes's story, and I'm so freaking excited for that one. I'm so excited because they were so funny. And then also for this one, opposite of this one, because you know what I said, how this one like she pretty much tells us like opposites attract. This one like she just plays it out, and I'm just like, oh my god, opposites really sometimes really do attract. Wow. Anyway, sorry. And so Bethany's after this one, and I'm so excited to read hers. I love Bethany. And then after this one we have Quan, and then this one I am kind of nervous about reading because, like I said, I have heard some mixed reviews about the Heart Principle, so I'm kind of scared, but I'm kind of like, you know what, let's get it. Let's do it. Okay, so yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so sorry that I've been MIA from YouTube. It's just I've been crazy busy with law school. I just am about to go past midterms, so I've been starting to read again. Yeah, I've just been so crazy busy with law school, like, and I don't know if, but like maybe I'll start bringing up like wrap ups, just because a lot of the books I read, they're so random, but they don't connect to each other, you know, like they don't like connect. And so I'm like, how do I make this into a video? I can't, like, they don't connect. They're not together, right? So I don't know, maybe I should just bring like a very like, what am I reading? Because I literally am reading like, one day I'll read romance, the next day I'll read a mystery, and the next day I read a fantasy. And I'm like, that doesn't connect. How do I make that into a video? That's why I'm like, maybe I should just do like a kind of like, what am I reading right now? And just tell you guys all the books I read. Something like that, right? But yeah, so I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much again for watching. Stay safe and go read your favorite book for me.